Hi everyone, this is Todd here with True Bread. I'm on the road to work. I have a flight tonight. I've got a few minutes here of free time. I just wanted to catch up with my last study I did on Trump versus Iran, talking about potential use of nuclear weapons. And I had some more details to add that I left out. I am editing that video. It should be up tomorrow. It is July 29th, 2026. It's about 8 o'clock here in central Virginia. But I forgot to mention, I was talking about the soccer, the World Cup, and I'm not a huge soccer fan, but I don't have cable TV, so I couldn't watch it. But I was watching some of the highlights. Well, I noticed, Trump got involved with that overturning a red card. Unbelievable to me that happened. But like I said, I'm not a big soccer sports fan, but that did happen. I forgot about that. But over that time frame, when the United States was playing and winning, Iran was off of the news. And I began to realize it. After a few days, I'm like, wait a minute, man, no one is talking about Iran. And it didn't stop. The Iran situation did not stop. But people weren't talking about it. And, they got into, I don't know, maybe it was a quarterfinal. United States team got into the quarterfinal against, I'm not sure about the quarterfinal. I think it was, but I'm not positive. But they were playing Belgium, and Belgium just kicked their ass, United States, 4-1, which is a total blowout in soccer. Within 24 hours, Trump was attacking Iran. I began to be aware, like, wait a minute, they're not talking about Iran, and as soon as we lost, Trump attacked Iran. And I thought to myself, man, dude, was this guy, Trump, was he pausing military action because of the World Cup? Can you imagine that? It was obvious to me that that's what happened, because he was focused on the World Cup and getting involved and all that. And then I don't want to try to take credit for that because I wasn't positive, but I told myself, I said, you watch. I said, he's going to be pissed, because he was. He came out and made statements about, I think he did, I can't remember exactly, about, it's not fair, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you watch. He's going to resume attacking Iran. It wasn't 24 hours. I remember specifically. If I can find the text, I'll put it on the tape. But anyways, I'm sorry I forgot that about the in the Bible study. It was very important, very relevant to what I'm saying. The point of the Bible study that I just completed a few days ago, and I'm sticking to my guns. I think Trump is going to use nukes on Iran. And Benjamin Netanyahu is here today in this country, July 29th, 2026. He was in D.C. yesterday. I think he's in New York City today, talking to Trump, Zelensky, Congress, and I think he's that mayor from New York City is threatened to arrest him. I don't know about all that, but you know what Netanyahu came over here for? To press Trump to continue on Iran, and they are. So this is why I'm making the video today. I had already planned on doing this, but I'm doing it now because I have the time. And this just happened. That, I think the most accurate or the most up-to-date information I receive is on X, because I don't have cable TV, and I don't trust it anyways. I stopped that years ago. On X, I'm not a big Elon Musk fan either. I'm glad he bought it, but I'm not If someone else could own X, I think that would be great. But irregardless of that, people post things right away, like within minutes. So now some of this stuff happens while I'm sleeping because they're 7.5 hours ahead of us, so we don't know exactly. I don't watch it all day. I can't. I have to sleep. So apparently this just happened within the last 24 hours, and I did not know until I saw it on X, the report, that Iran launched ballistic missiles, not drones. They're ballistic missiles at Jordan, at a United States military base in Jordan. And this is what Trump just said today in a Fox News interview. He said, I'm going to blow the fucking shit out of Iran. Now, does that sound like presidential to you, that he would use those words? I'm using the exact words. I don't like to use profanity, but I am because he said it. And it goes in line with what I've been saying about Trump, King of the North. That's his mentality. He goes from, oh, Iran is begging me for negotiations, and they're really, he said this. And if I saved it, I will put it on the tape. He said, Iran's being very friendly. This is like 48 hours ago, people. Iran's being very friendly, and they want a deal, and they've been contacting us, and we're going to work something out. And then say, I'm going to blow the effing shit out of Iran within 24 hours or 48-hour period. That is a sign of instability in a mind. And he's done this over and over and over. You've heard me talk, and I've said this for months now, at least 2 months in my Bible studies, that Trump has said repeatedly, oh, I have a deal with Iran. And then he attacks them. I stopped counting at 39. I just quit. I was tracking some people that were tracking Trump's agreements, and they got to 39, and I just like, what's the point of even doing it anymore? It's pointless. So that is not the sign of a stable mind that you want leading your military and your country, is my point. That's a sign of the King of the North. If you go back in history and look, and I've studied Rome for years, people, all the way back to Julius Caesar crossing the Rubicon, Remus and Romulus, the Roman Catholic Church. I mean, I've studied it for decades, and how absolutely crazy and insane some of those Caesars were, like Nero, Quigula. I'm sure I'm leaving out some. I think that Octavia, who became Augustus, wasn't like as bad as Nero and Caligula, but they basically all became insane, like really bizarrely insane. So I've been saying since I started True Bread, the statue of Daniel 2, and no one else is saying what I'm saying as well, what the words are going to come out of my mouth right now, is that the statue of Daniel 2, the iron legs, is Rome. And there are 4 divisions of that statue: the Caesars, Napoleon, Hitler, and Trump. Trump is the 4th Caesar of Rome. We are, this system, this Babylonian system you live in is Rome. It's basically Roman Catholicism is what you live in. I could talk to you for 2 hours on that topic easily. But people don't know it. So it's like the name of this nation, this continent, North America, South America, is not named from an Italian map maker. It's from Amaruca, the plumed serpent, Quetzalcoatl. That's where you live. That's what this land is called. The United States of America is the United States of Amaruca, which is obviously Satan the devil. That's his name. The Quetzalcoatl, that's what the Inca and the Mayans and the Aztecs, you know, and the conquistadors got to the continent of South America after Christopher Columbus, you know, they asked the locals, what is this place? And it wasn't some Italian map maker. That's the propaganda lie you get in grade school. It's Amaruca. That's America. That is the plumed serpent, Quetzalcoatl. Look it up. It's obvious. They find them all over. The plumed serpent, and I'll put the image on the Bible study. That it became the phoenix of Rome. That's why I'm saying you live in Rome. Our symbol of this country, supposedly, you know, after July 4th, all that, everyone's going crazy over the eagle. I love eagles. I fly with eagles all the time. Here where I live, we have multiple rivers, and that's where the eagles live. I see eagles almost every time I fly in the daytime. They've made a huge comeback in this area. They're beautiful birds. I'm not talking about that. The symbol that the Caesars used was not an eagle. It was the phoenix. That is Quetzalcoatl. That is Rome. That is Amaruca. That's where we live. So Trump is a Caesar. The fourth Caesar of Daniel 2 statue, the legs of iron. The iron is Rome. And you come down to the feet with the 10 toes. Those are the 10 horns of the beast power. The 7 heads and 10 horns that Daniel saw and John saw. John saw the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. Daniel saw the 7 heads. He did not see the 10 horns. The 10 horns are the 10 zones. The 10 horns are the 10 zones of the Club of Rome. The Club of Rome is like the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Bilderbergs, the people in the shadows, right? I call it the beast power. That's Babylon. Those people divided the planet into 10 zones directly after World War II. I mean, they already had this plan probably long before World War II. But I have the map. I'll put it on the tape. If I can find that exact... I have a map somewhere of what I just said from World War II. And they also make a modern one, which I'll put that on here as well. Those are your 10 horns. So that's the feet of the statue of Daniel. Daniel chapter 2. We are down to the feet. We're down to the bottom. The statue of Daniel 2 is a timeline from Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon from like 600 BC. That's when Daniel had this dream. That Nebuchadnezzar, no one can answer the dream except Daniel, because the Creator gave him the dream. The Creator explained the dream to Daniel, and Daniel told Nebuchadnezzar, and Daniel said, King, this is what you saw. You saw a huge statue of gold, silver, bronze, and iron. Babylon, Persia, Greco-Macedonia, and Rome. We are Rome. We are in the Roman Babylonian sect. The whole thing is basically Babylon. And the statue of Daniel 2 is a statue of the king of the north. Nebuchadnezzar. Daniel didn't talk about the Sumer civilization, the Egyptian civilization, or the Assyrian civilization, because they had already come and gone. When Daniel was taken to Babylon, that's when the Creator gave him the answer to Nebuchadnezzar's dream. That's when the timeline starts. Nebuchadnezzar, Cyrus the Great, Alexander the Great, and then we come down to Rome, Caesar, Napoleon, Hitler, Trump. Napoleon and Hitler tried to recreate... I'm sorry, folks, the sun's going down. I got a night flight tonight. I'm hoping I have enough light to finish this video. That's what Daniel saw. The iron. Napoleon and Hitler tried to recreate the Roman Empire. I mean, they said it. Napoleon's symbols were the same as the Roman soldiers. Same with Hitler. With the iron cross, the phoenix, the uniforms, They had the standards. I have these images somewhere if I can find them. And then we have after Hitler was defeated by the Soviets in May of 1945 and the atomic weapons were used, that started this Fourth Reich that we're in today. After the nuclear weapons were dropped, that began the beast that John saw, the 7 heads and 10 horns. That John, I believe it's in Revelation 13 verse 4, who can make war with the beast? The answer is no one, because we'll destroy the planet. So what I'm doing, this part 2 of this study today, what I said about Trump saying we'll blast the fucking shit out of Iran, which just happened a couple hours ago. Like every time I get online, I'm afraid I'm going to see Trump has nuked Pickaxe Mountain. That's the point of what I'm doing right now. I believe that's exactly where we are. I think Trump and Netanyahu and NATO and the allies in the beast, the 7 heads and 10 horns that John saw in Revelation 13, that's the beast system we're in. You live in America, that's America, the beast with NATO and European Union, the 7 heads and 10 horns. They have realized that they can't stop Iran. And Iran's winning. Now they're shutting down the Bab el-Mandeb Strait in the Red Sea and just smashing Saudi Arabia and not being stopped. So that's why I did last study, and that's why I'm doing this, is that I am convinced that Trump is going to nuke Iran. And that could be, like I said, anytime I open up Internet, X, Drudge, YouTube, whatever, that's what I'm thinking. I don't mean in a week, people. I'm talking about it could be tomorrow. It could be they are 7. It's about 8:30 p.m. here in Virginia, Central Virginia, right now. They're 7.5 hours ahead. So it's becoming daylight over there. And they always do their military operations at night. So the next period of 12 hours to 14 hours, it could be dark over in Iran, and that's when they could do it. And I think that's why Netanyahu came here. I think Netanyahu's going to tell Trump, like, look, man, they're going to annihilate Tel Aviv and the Zionist nuclear reactor and their Ben Gurion airport. They're going to annihilate that. And I think Netanyahu came over here to say, hey, man, we got to stop this. The conventional weapons aren't working. There's no way on this green earth that the United States can send troops for a ground invasion of Iran. They will just come home in body bags. They're already saying they're going to start to draft up. That's coming. They're going to start to draft up. If Trump uses nuclear weapons on Iran, you can count on martial law in this country. And that's what I said in my Bible study. I do not know how long I can continue doing True Bread. But I'll keep going as long as I can. So, but that's the point I wanted to make. That's why I'm doing part 2 right now. If things change between now and the weekend, I will post another study. I've got to finish editing the last study. I'll have that up tomorrow. Then I have to edit this study, and then I'll be able to focus on Trump 100%. So that's the update for now. Thanks for watching. I'll have more to say on this soon. Keep the faith. I'll talk to you then.